All right, let's go. Now it's time for something completely different. So normally I'm playing hobbits, and that's not an issue, but this is going to be a little different. Now there is one hobbit. You might notice this card and be wondering, well, who is it? Well, this is Lore Pippin. This is an alt art card that was given to me by Dan, aka Bjorn, at last year's Con of the Rings. He gave me a whole deck with all kinds of alt arts, and I just love them. And I love this alt art of Lore Pippin. So if you haven't seen him before, he's 6 threat, 2 willpower, 1 attack, 1 defense, 2 hit points. Lore. Each enemy in play gets +1 engagement cost for each hobbit hero you control, and he has a response. After you engage an enemy with an engagement cost higher than your threat, draw a card. I don't know how often I'm going to be able to trigger that ability, because my other 2 heroes don't exactly have low starting threat. 8 isn't bad. This is Leadership Denethor. 1 willpower, 1 attack, 3 defense, 3 hit points. Gondor, Noble, Steward! I get to add 2 resources to his resource pool at the start of the game, and then I can move a resource from his resource pool to another Gondor hero's resource pool. Very cool. My third hero is a bit of an anti-hero. It's Saruman. 13 threat, 3 willpower, 4 attack, 2 defense, 4 hit points. He's a powerhouse because he's an Astari and Isengard. When a player card effect would reduce your threat by any amount, reduce that amount to 1. So it's very hard to back your threat back down. And then, while playing an event with the printed Doomed keyword, Saruman gains the printed Leadership, Spirit, and Tactics icons. And he has another line of text, a whole laundry list here. After you play a card with the Doomed keyword, ready Saruman. Why am I playing this deck? Well, on the video where I did the Epic Elevensies, I said, hey, is there anything else people would like to see me do? Any cards you want to see me mess around with? And someone said, hey, how about something with a Palantir? I thought, man, that's a great idea. So I built this deck. It took me a long time to kind of get it right. And look, for a thematic win, I have the Saruman deck of many colors here. Pretty cool. And I sleeved this thing upside down, so I don't know what sleeves correspond to what cards. So this is going to be a Palantir deck. And I've set some goals for myself. You might have noticed I really like doing this, where I kind of make it a game within the game, where I try to have my deck do something a little different, set some achievements for myself. So in this deck, I have a couple achievements. Achievement number 1. I need to get, the first achievement is I need to get the Palantir on Saruman. So you attach it to a noble hero, planning action, exhaust the Palantir and the attached hero to name a card type and look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. For each of those cards that matches the named type, draw a card. For each of those cards that does not match the named type, raise your threat by 2. But you do get to see what's coming. But it's noble, and Saruman here, he's not noble, so I'm also going to have to get Diligent Noble on him. This is one of these trait granting cards. Attached to a hero, limit 1 per hero. Attached hero gains the noble trait. And after you play it, you get the can trip. Is that what it's called? Anyway, after you play this, you get to draw a card. So that's achievement number 1. That's actually not that hard to do. I mean, it's just a 2-card combo. Attach the Palantir to Saruman. Achievement number 2, I only wanted to use heroes that actually handled the Palantirs. Saruman, Pippin, Denethor. So basically, to try to cram as many Doomed cards as I could in this deck, and there's a lot of them. There's a ton of Doomed cards in this deck. So I'm going to be trying to play a lot of Doomed cards. I'm going to try to be running the Palantir, trying to go for a little theme. I also, even though I have 2 lore heroes, I didn't include Mithrandir's advice as far as theme goes, because to me, you know, these 3 characters really never heeded his advice, like, at all. So, yeah, I just thought that I was going to include it because one resource to draw 2 cards, but I'm like, you know, if I'm going with the theme of the 3 heroes that handle the Palantirs, I also can't include a card called Mithrandir's Advice. That just seemed like a big no. And then there is a third achievement of this deck, but I'm going to keep that a secret. And if I can pull it off, I'll let you know. But I'm keeping that one a secret because if I can pull it off, I think it would be pretty cool. And I'm really looking forward to seeing if I can do this. So I'm going to get the game set up here, and then we're going to get going. So I hope you enjoy this deck and this little mini game within the game I'm playing on this one. And in order to keep this as thematic as possible, I'm going to be playing a scenario from the Voice of Isengard, the Ringmaker cycle. I'm going to be playing Celebrimborn's Secret. So that is the quest we're going to be playing against. And it's really my only choice, because all these other quests require you to do terrible things whenever you draw cards, and this deck draws a lot of cards. So I think it would be a suicide mission to try anything else. Trouble in Tharbad obviously would also not be good, since my whole gimmick here is to try to raise my threat, and this one you're trying to reduce your threat to 0. So we're going to play Celebrimborn's Secret. So I'm going to set that up, and we're going to get going. Okay, if you've never played this before, you start with Belloc in the staging area. X is the number of cards underneath the Orc Search, so he's going to start out with 0 threat. The Orc Search starts out in the staging area. It says when a location has damage equal to the printed quest points, place it face down underneath the Orc Search. At the end of the refresh phase, raise each player's threat by 1 for each card underneath the Orc Search. You're going to also start out with the Secret Chamber in the staging area. X threat, X is the number of players, so of course that'll be 1. And then to travel there, you have to remove 3 progress from the current quest to travel there. If the Secret Chamber is placed underneath the Orc Search, the players lose the game. So this quest, you're basically at times forced to place damage on locations in the staging area. So if this is in the staging area, you run the risk of it taking damage, but there's also things that deal damage to the active location. So when it's the active location, it could take damage. You also attach Celebrimbor's mold to this location, artifact item. When it's free of encounters, the first player claims this mold and attaches it to a hero he controls. If the attached hero leaves play, the players lose the game. So in the staging area, we're only starting out with 1 threat at the moment. Let's read our quest card. Quest card 1A, The Ruins of Austin Idil. Setup, we added all that stuff I just talked about. And then each player adds a different Austin Idil location to the staging area. That's how you say that word. I know it is. And then we shuffle the deck. So I'm going to find the location, and I'm going to add that to the staging area, but let's read the other side of the card while we're here. 14 progress needed. It's got time 3, so at the end of the round, we're going to remove one of the time counters. After the last time counter is removed from this stage, trigger each scour effect currently in play, and then place 3 time counters back on this stage. Belloc is immune to player card effects and cannot be engaged, and we can't advance until we have the mold. Scour effects, they're going to show up on locations and enemies, and basically they do bad things, and you don't want scour effects to go off, and we don't want the locations to get damage. So I'm going to find that location, and then we'll get started with the quest. Okay, the location I decided to start with is Collapse Tower. It has a surge, but since we're adding it, that does not trigger. Scour, return this location to the staging area and place 2 damage here. The reason I like it, it's only got 1 threat. Alright, let's give this thing one last shuffle. Then we'll draw our opening hand of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, Daron's Runes. Draw 2 cards and discard 1. Hey, the Palantir. Alright. Oh, the Soldier of Isengard. So he's a 1 of. He's doomed 2 when he enters play. And then after you raise your threat, you could pass him to somebody else. Obviously, that doesn't matter. More card draw. Okay. Goneberry Gone. Okay, he's a pretty good ally. Ooh, and my 1 copy of Furial. Okay. I got a lot of card draw, so I think I'll keep it. And hopefully I draw some of the other cards I'd really like to see in my opening hand. Alright, so everyone gets a resource. Denethor has 3. My next card is another Palantir. That's okay, because now I'll play Daron's Runes, draw 2 cards, and I will discard the Palantir, because I have 2. And I drew, alright, the Herald of Honorian. I can give him Doom 2 when I play him from my hand, and then I can put another ally into play that costs 2 or less. So that's nice, because I could get Very Gone in. And then I got Farsighted. It's a newer card. Doomed 1. Doomed 1. Look at the top 5 cards of the encounter deck and put them back in the same order. Very nice for the Palantir. But I can't play the Palantir right now. because I don't have Noble. I only can play it on Denethor, but I want to play it on Saruman. Okay, what do I want to do here? I think I'm going to start out by playing a Deep Knowledge. So I'm going to raise my threat by 2 and draw 2 more cards. Like I said, this, nice, great. I'm glad to see that card. Oh, okay, that was the perfect draw. So this card you might not have seen before, or maybe you've just skimmed past it in your collection. Doomed 1, search the deck for a card with a doomed keyword and add it to your hand, shuffle your deck. But it's perfect for him because it readies him. It readies Saruman when you play it. Okay, well, definitely going to play the Steward of Gondor, so basically 2 resources move from Denethor to Saruman, giving me 4 lore resources. 4. Very close to 5. Okay, so I'd like him to play him, so I'm going to do that next turn. I could do Doom 2 and get this guy in. That's not terrible. I'd like to get him in, so I might as well. So I'm going to spend 2 resources. Doomed 2. So now I'm at 31, and I got this guy in. And that's the only card I'm going to play right now. So leaving me with 1 resource on Denethor, 2 on Saruman. I'm currently up against 2 in the staging area, and so let's quest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got my time counters here. 7 against 2, and we reveal Treachery. When revealed, each player must exhaust X characters he controls. X is the number of cards underneath the orc search. If no characters are exhausted this way, search. Well, that surges. I don't have any cards. Another Treachery. Little fuzz. Trigger each scour effect currently in play, or each player places a random card from his hand face down under the orc search, which would basically raise my threat by an additional point and add a resource. So there's only 2 scour effects in play. This one tells me to return it to the staging area and place 2 damage here, so I'd have to do that. I think I'm just going to do that. The other scour effect is Belloc makes me find an orc and add it to the staging area. Okay, so the one I wanted was the very bottom of the deck. He has a when revealed effect, so it's nice to not have to trigger that when revealed effect when you add him to the staging area. So that added 2 threat, meaning we made 3 progress. 3 out of 14. I am going to travel here. Okay, this guy has a 40 engagement cost. He does have a scour, so if the scour ever goes off, place 1 damage on the active. He's attacking for 3. I think I'll take him. So I'm going to engage him. That actually triggers Pippin. Okay, my 3rd copy of the Palantir. I guess this was just meant to find the Palantirs. One of my Diligent Nobles would be nice. Okay, he's attacking for 3. Denethor is defending for 3. There is a shadow. Place 1 damage on the active location. Okay, we're close. We have 3 out of 4 damage there now. Okay, so he will take 6 to kill. So I think I'm going to play Doomed 1, search my deck for a card with the Doomed keyword and add it to my hand, shuffle my deck. So I'm going to do that to ready Saruman. And the Doomed keyword I want is this Defiant Challenge. It's Doomed 2. Each player may ready a character he controls. So I could ready a character, and then the Doomed would ready Saruman. Okay, because Saruman's ready, he's going to attack for 4 and deal 2 damage. Threat goes up to 32, and we end the round. Okay, before we draw our card, I got to remember, remove a time counter. Okay, so I already gave myself 1 resource to all my heroes. I'm at 32 threat, and I draw, hey, all right! I got the Diligent Noble, so now I can actually play the Palantir. Okay, I'm going to trigger the Steward of Gondor. That gives me 5 lore resources on Saruman. Well, I think it's kind of obvious what I need to play here. Furiel's coming in. Gotta get that Furiel in play. So if you haven't seen her, she's crazy. So after she commits to the quest, I get to look at the top card and decide if I want to keep it or not. That is great. All right, the next card. Now, I wanted to play Gone Berry Gone and this guy together, but I only have 2 resources on Denethor. But I need a leadership resource to play the Diligent Noble as well. And I don't know what's coming, so it really doesn't make sense to play this yet. I mean, I could play this, see the next 5 cards, and then possibly trigger the Palantir. But then I don't really have a good doomed card to ready Saruman back up for questing. So I think it makes more sense right now to play the Herald of Anorian for 2, and then trigger his doomed effect to put Gone Berry Gone in play. So I'm going to go up to 34. Gone Berry Gone, if you haven't seen him, he quests for the threat of the active location. Okay. So I have 1 lore resource left, and this is my hand. I am going to quest for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm currently up against 1. 9 against 1. Furial gets to see if we want to keep this. It's a 3 threat enemy. It says when it's engaged with a player, it gets +1 for each location in the staging area. So he'd only be attacking for 2. That's not bad. I'm going to keep that card. That's not bad. 1, 2, 3. So 2, 4. I make 5 progress. 4 goes here. Clearing that. And a 4th progress goes right there. Now I could travel here. To travel there, remove 3 progress from the current quest to travel here. So why not? Why not? Let's travel there. Backing me back down to 1. My threat's 34. He's a 29, thanks to Pippin boosting him by 1. So he's going to engage me as well. There's actually going to be no locations in the staging area, so he's just attacking for 1. This guy's attacking for 3. Alright. So I think first, Denethor is going to defend 3 against 3. There is a shadow. The shadow is defending player assigns X damage among characters he controls, where X is the number of cards underneath the orc search. So that's 0. Okay, I take no damage there. And then he's attacking for 1. Let me do some math. I'm going to have the Orthanc Guard, the Soldier of Isengard defend. So he's attacking for 1, Soldier's defending for 2. There's a shadow. Technically gets +X for each location in staging area. Oh, that's none again. Okay. So I take no damage there. And then I'm going to play Farsighted. So it's a doomed 1, and I get to look at the top 5 cards of the encounter deck. It readies Saruman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to put these in the same order. So the top card is another Prowling Orc, followed by another Prowling Orc, followed by a Treachery, then an enemy, then a Treachery. So these are the next 5 cards that are coming. Lay them there like so. Saruman is ready. He can attack for 4, which he will. That kills this guy. And then Gone Berry Gone can attack for 1. And he has 1 defense, so that does nothing. Okay, so we advance the round, removing another time counter, raising our threat, and everybody readies. All right, I'm up to 36 threat. I gave everybody the resources, including the resource for Steward of Gondor. We draw the top card. Hey, all right, yes, Saruman's Staff. Yes, that is the card I was hoping to find. Oh, that's so good. Saruman's Staff, if you haven't seen it. Exhaust Saruman's Staff to choose 1. Reduce the X value of the next doomed X event you play this phase by 2, or search the top 5 cards of your deck for a doomed event and add it to your hand. Oh, it's so good. Okay, and I also know what's coming. So, first off, Diligent Noble. That will be my only leadership resource. I get to draw a card when I play it, and I get, oh nice, okay, so this is my 1 copy of the Scroll of Isildur. It's a record attachment. It's going to cost me 2 to play it, and then I can discard it to play a lore event from my discard pile as if it was in my hand, and then I place that event on the bottom of my deck. Okay? The next card I'm going to play is Saruman's Staff. Alright, so that will be Pippin's resources. I have 3 resources left, so there's no reason not to play the Palantir. So we did the first challenge. Saruman now has the Palantir. So that was the first challenge of this deck. Okay. I can exhaust Saruman and the Palantir to look at the top 3 cards and name a card. Well, since I know what's coming, it's enemy, enemy, treachery, I'm going to say enemy. So one of them is not what I said, so I raise my threat by 2, and I get to draw 2 cards. Hey, Helm of Secrecy, what's that doing here? So maybe now you guys can take a guess at what the final little challenge of this deck is going to be. Okay, so I drew my Isengard Messenger. This guy's actually pretty good in a Doomed deck. So after I raise my threat from the Doomed keyword, he gets +1 willpower to the end of the round. Limit twice. I do have 2 lore resources, so I think I will put him into play. I'm going to slide these guys up so we can see him. So he's going to be my last 2 resources. And yeah, this is my hand at the moment. I know that I'm going to be questing against a 3 threat enemy, and that is it. So I'm going to have 3 threat in staging once I reveal this card, and Furiel's not going to get rid of it because they're hitting for 1 at the moment. So I can make my 6 progress here, which I would love to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, I was actually looking at this. Furiel is going to discard this card because I was looking at his shadow, which makes me exhaust a character I control. So I'm going to have her discard that warg, so this warg is the one I reveal. That way, there won't be a shadow for one of these guys. Okay, so I quested for 9 against 3. Okay, so right now I'm making 6 progress, but I'm going to trigger with Saruman's Staff Defiant Challenge. So Saruman says after a player plays a card with the Doomed keyword, ready Saruman, and this guy says after you raise your threat from the Doomed keyword, he gets +1 willpower. So because I use Saruman's Staff, I'm not raising my threat, so I don't get to boost his willpower, but I am going to ready a character, and the character I'm going to ready is this Soldier of Isengard, and because I played a Doomed card, I ready Saruman. So I'm going to do that during the quest phase. 6 progress go here, that is gone. I claim the mold, which I will attach to Saruman, he's holding everything. And now we go into combat. So I already have this warg engaged with me. Now this one's going to engage me. They get +1 for each location in the staging area, which there's none. And then that one's getting no shadow, and this one's getting, attacking enemy gets +1. Okay, so they're attacking for 2 and 1. So it's nice knowing that, because I want to try to kill them both. So I think I'm just going to take everything undefended. So I got to deal 1 damage and 2 damage, like that. And then I'm going to swing back. Saruman's going to attack for 4, kill this one. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, kills this one. Shadow cards go away. I have 1 card left here, but when this time counter goes away, I trigger all scour effects in play, which means I need to find an orc per Belloc's effect. The orc I want is the one that has the 1 revealed effect. There, this guy. So I triggered all the scour effects in play. I have placed one resource. I've placed 1 progress out of 14. I already have the mold. Let's advance the round. Everybody readies, and I raise my threat. 39. Okay, once again, everyone's got their resource. Saruman has 3 because of the Steward of Gondor. There it is. I draw the top card. It's another Herald of Anorian. I don't really need that at the moment. Here's my hand. I think I'm going to spend 2 lore resources to put the Scroll of Isildur in play. I'll add it to Pippin. So that lets me play a lore event from my discard pile. if you want to see what my discard pile looks like. I do have Farsighted, and I also have Daron's Runes and Deep Knowledge. Farsighted isn't terrible to play, actually. But I wish I knew at least one of the cards that were coming. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to exhaust Saruman's Staff, look at the top 5 cards for a card with the Doomed keyword. Ah, okay, and I got one. I got Deep Knowledge. So I'm going to take that. My hand looks like this. I have 1 leadership resource and 2 lore resources. I think I'm going to hold off on playing this Deep Knowledge. I might need to ready Saruman. Not going to trigger the Palantir because I have no idea what's coming. So let's quest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Furial gets to decide if we keep this card. It's this 3-threat enemy, Orc Skirmisher. After I engage it... Oh, you know what? Let's not forget this. That just reminded me. There we go. Alright, after we engage it, we either have to deal 3... There we go. Go on, focus. There we go. We either have to deal 3 damage to a character or remove 1 time counter from the current quest. I actually... Maybe we'll just kill this guy. I'm just... Do I want to keep this card? I'll have to engage it. I don't have to engage him. I think Furiel is going to get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of it. And it's replaced by... Oh, good. Okay. A location. After placing any amount of progress here, trigger the topmost scour effect on the discard pile. Okay, so we added 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's a difference of 2, 4, 6. We make 7 progress total now. We're halfway there. My threat is 39. I am going to travel here. At the moment, here's my discard pile. At the moment, the topmost scour effect is place 1 damage on the active location. So if I kill this guy, that's going to be the same thing. Okay. But it might have a... I can decide. All right, I'm going to engage this guy. He's actually a 41 engagement, and I'm at 39. So Pippin actually draws me a card, which is nice. Okay, it's a card I don't need. You always draw your extra copies of Steward of Gondor when you already have it. But when you're digging for Steward, you can never find it. Okay, here's my hand. Okay, this guy is attacking for 3. Saruman's exhausted, but Denethor isn't. I'm just going to defend with Denethor. Okay, there is a shadow. Excess damage dealt by this attack must be placed on the active location. Well, it was 3 against 3. This does have a scour effect. Return this location to the staging area and place 2 damage here. Now that's going to be my topmost scour effect. Dang it. Now, can I kill this guy? Let's see. If I ready Saruman, Saruman can attack for 4 if I play a doomed card. And 1. And he takes 6. I'm short. I don't know what I could possibly draw to help me. I can't kill him, and I don't want to... I can get within 1 of killing him, but I can't quite do it. So I am going to hold off on playing that Deep Knowledge, because I can play it without triggering the Doomed keyword, thanks to Saruman's Staff next turn. Although, I could use the Scroll of Isildur to play Farsighted. Maybe I should do that. Okay, I'll do that. Scroll of Isildur is going to play Farsighted, which is Doomed 1. If I was smart, I would have done that during the quest phase, so I could have placed 1 more progress. But that's okay. So because I raised my threat from the Doomed keyword, I ready Saruman. These 2 characters together are going to attack for 5. This goes on the bottom of my deck. I'm doing all this before I grab the encounter deck. So he has 3 damage out of 4 on him. Gombrigon attacked for 1. Saruman attacked for 4. Now let's take a peek. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so my top card is a location. My next card is a treachery, treachery, location, treachery. So here are my top 5 cards. Location, treachery, treachery. Location, treachery. Okay, that's what's coming. Okay, end of the round, remove a time counter. Everybody readies, raise our threat. Next round. All right, next round, got all my resources, 2 on Denethor, 5 and 1. I draw my card. Okay, Angbor the Fearless. This is great because I'm at 41 threat. He says when your threat is 40 or higher, he gets +2 attack and does not exhaust a quest. That's great because in my hand, I also have, it ran away. Come back! All right, there it is. The Herald of Anorian. So he can play Angbor with his Doomed effect. Okay. All right. This is looking very interesting. Okay. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to exhaust Saruman and the Palantir, and I'm going to say Treachery. I have to raise my threat to 43. And there's 2 treacheries, so I draw 2 cards. So I raised it by 2 because of the first card I looked at of the top 3 not being a treachery. The next 2 were treacheries, and I draw... Oh, okay, great. I drew the Steward of Orthanc, so after you play an event, give it Doomed 1 to draw a card. You can't trigger multiple copies. And Word of Command. Exhaust an Astari character to search your deck for a card and add it to your hand. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so now I am going to play the Steward of Orthanc. Pay him for 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to use Saruman's Staff to reduce the doomed value of Deep Knowledge to 0. But because I played a doomed keyword, a card with the doomed keyword, it readies Saruman. I get to draw 2 cards with that. Defiant Challenge, Doom 2, ready a character you control, and another Steward. I am going to give that event a Doomed 1. I'm going to place that on there to say I did that. And by doing so, I get to draw another card. So I'm at 44. The card I draw, Master of the Forge, don't really need it. I've kind of gotten most of my attachments I'm looking for. Because I actually raised my threat from the Doomed keyword, the Isengard Messenger is going to get an extra willpower. So I have 3 lore resources left. So what I'm going to do is exhaust Saruman and play Word of Command to look for a card. Cost 1. Card I'm looking for, some healing. Oh, it was almost there. Alright, Word of Healing. With Word of Command, Saruman is now exhausted. I'm at 44 threat. I have 2 lore resources and 2 leadership resources. I'm going to spend my 2 leadership resources to put in another Herald of Anorian. I'm going to trigger his Doomed effect, putting me at 46. That puts in Angbor the Fearless. Where'd you go, Angbor? He keeps hiding on me. There he is. Angbor is in. He does not exhaust a quest. Because I triggered a second Doomed effect, this guy is now questing for 3. I still have 2 lore resources left, which I'm going to use to play the Warden of Healing. I'm at 46 threat. Saruman, when you play with fire... Now, because I raised my threat from the Doomed keyword, Saruman had readied when I did the other Herald of Anorian. Okay. That was a lot going on, but really cool turn. That's what this deck can do. I've been messing around with this deck for a long time, trying to get it just right. And these are the kind of turns it can have, where you're triggering all the Doomed, and you're readying and exhausting, and you're boosting up this guy, and you're drawing 6 cards, and yeah, a lot of fun, really fun. Okay, I'm glad we had that turn. I'm really happy with it. Okay, so I want a quest for 11. I paused the video so I could figure this out. I'm revealing 2 threat, so I'm just going to do that now. That's the card being revealed. I'm going to slide these over. I want to place 3 here, so that's 5, and I want to place 6 here. I don't want to advance yet. I want to wait 1 more round. So I want a quest for 11. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He doesn't exhaust. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so I'm questing for 11. Furiel's not going to get rid of that card. This goes away. It says when it's explored, trigger the topmost scour effect in the discard pile. The topmost scour effect is the top card of the discard pile, which is simply return this location to the staging area and place 2 damage on it. Okay? And then I'm going to travel to the Broken Lands. That simply says when it's in the staging area, progress cannot be placed on locations in the staging area. So that's a 6 progress location. I forgot. I'm at 13. So I made it so I quested to 13 out of 14. This is the Shadow, which is going to be nothing. So he's attacking for 3. I'm defending for 3. I'm attacking back for 4. Killing that dude. You're dead. And the Warden of Healing is going to heal up some people. And we're going to end the round there. Everybody's ready. 47. Next round. Alright, as always, I forgot to remove the time counter. So that's gone. I'm down to 1 left. I've gave myself all my resources, including the stewards. I'm going to draw. Okay, Defiant Challenge, Doom 2. Each player readies a character he controls. Alright, so here's my hand. I got 2 of those Defiant Challenges. That's nice. I am not going to play a card. 1 damage on Saruman. I need 1 progress. This is a 6 threat location. I currently have 1 threat in staging. I'm revealing this card, which is going to say place 3 damage on the active location, which is great because it can take 6. And if there was none, it would surge, so I'm definitely going to keep that. So I just need to quest for 1, 7, 8. I need to quest for a total of 8. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. He doesn't exhaust. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I can go like that. And that's exactly 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Questing for 8. Revealing a treachery that says place 3 damage on the active. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. 6 progress goes here. Clearing that. 1 progress goes here, putting us at 14. I do control the mold, so we advance. Stage 2A. Trigger each scour effect currently in play. Belloc makes an immediate attack against the player who controls the mold. Then we attach the mold to Belloc. Okay, so scour effect in play is this location, and it's going to get 2 damage on it, and that goes underneath the Orc's search. So I am going to place 1 token there to tell me to raise my threat by an additional amount at the end of the round. Mind you, I'm at 47. Scour effect that's also in play is find an Orc. So I want to find the other ones that have 1 revealed. There it is. These cards get shuffled back into the deck. Okay, this guy, his 1 reveal doesn't trigger, but if he did trigger, it would be either reveal an additional card or remove a time counter. Okay, then Belloc's going to attack me. He's attacking for 5. Looking at my board state, I am going to defend with this Herald of Honorian. Attacking enemy gets +1 for each location in the staging area. Okay. I don't think there's anything that punishes me for losing a character. So he's dead. Now, Belloc grabs the mold from me. Time 3, forced. When the last time counter is removed, trigger each scour effect currently in play and then place 3 time counters. Unless there's at least 12 progress at this stage, Belloc is immune to player card effects and cannot be engaged. The players cannot win unless Celebrimbor's mold is attached to a hero. If the players defeat the stage, they win. Alright. Well, I have nowhere to travel to, so I will engage this Orc. I can't engage him. So he's going to be attacking me for 3. Denethor will defend. 3 against 3. There is a shadow. If it destroys a character, it doesn't. And then I can swing back for 4. And just like that, he's dead. Alright, let me add the 3 time counters there before I forget. Okay, also during the combat phase, I was just thinking about this. Saruman's staff. Exhaust the staff. Yeah, it's just an action. Okay. I am going to exhaust Saruman's staff to search the top 5 cards for a doomed card. I did not find one. Okay. A refresh phase. Everyone's ready. My threat goes up by 2 to 49. And here was the final achievement of the game, the final little mini game. How high could I raise my threat with Saruman playing around with that Palantir before someone comes riding in to save the day? Because I said I wanted to have heroes that handled the Palantir. Well, there is one more hero that handled that Palantir. So I'm going to spend 4 resources, I had 5, to play Helm of Secrecy. Helm of Secrecy says action, choose a hero you control and discard all tokens from it. Select a non-fellowship, non-baggins hero from your collection with a threat cost less than or equal to the chosen hero. Swap those heroes, moving all eligible attachments and damage tokens to the hero from your collection. So I spent 4 resources playing Helm of Secrecy, and I'm going to swap out Saruman for Loragorn. This is an alt art Loragorn that was given to me by Lucas. He's a listener that lives in Poland. He actually posed for this photo and had the artist draw it. It's just an amazing rendition of Aragorn. But Lord Aragorn says, refresh action. Reduce your threat to your starting threat level. Limit once per game. Well, I think I'll do that. I'm going to set my threat back to 27. That felt good. So I did it. I did it. That was the thing. I'm so happy I did this. Now, the only thing he can't hold is Saruman's staff, but everything else he can still hang on to. But, oh, that's so cool. I was able to get my threat as high as possible and then play Helm of Secrecy to slap Lord Aragorn in and drop my threat all the way back down to my starting threat. All right. Cool. That was cool. Okay, let's start the next round. Very, very cool. Okay, next round, I removed the time counter. I feel like I have to say it. I should just say it. Saruman, your staff is broken. So, yeah, have to do it. All right, draw the card. See, Legacy of Numenor. This is what's also fun, is after throwing your threat all the way back down, you can play your doomed cards again. You're not really worrying about it. I don't need the resources because I really don't have anything I need to play. So I'm going to call it good. It would have been an epic fail to trigger the Steward of Orthanc when I played Helm of Secrecy, though. I would have lost. That would have been kind of funny. He does have a damage on him. Okay, I'm not playing anything. I don't know what's coming, but I do have Furial, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. He no longer gets to quest without exhausting, but I'm going to send him anyway. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Sending 11 against 1, because that does give him a threat. The card I reveal is that location again that makes me trigger the topmost scour effect. So that's 1, 2, 3. I said 11, right? Oh, 12. I sent 12. All right, that's a difference of 8. I forgot to reset my dice. My die, sorry. All right, 8 out of 12. I can't damage him until I have 12, and I can't engage him. All right, I'm not going to travel there. I don't want to have to worry about that. I think I'm just going to trigger the Warden to heal Aragorn, and we're just going to go to the next round. Got 1 counter left. Okay, I raised my threat by 2 to 29. I got lots of resources. 3, 6, 2. Draw a card. Ah, Farsighted. I'm gonna play that. So Doomed 1 puts me at 30. Gives him a boost. I'm going to trigger him as well. I used the wrong colors. I was getting very confused. I'm like, why do these all have green tokens on them? Okay, Doomed 1 to play Farsighted. I'm going to boost his willpower. I'm going to give it Doomed 1 to draw a card. The card I draw is Drinking Song. We'll think about that in a second here. So now I get to look at the top 5 cards. Okay, it's another 3 threat location, so I'm very happy to see that. No weird treachery that's going to make me do all kinds of crazy stuff. Sometimes these penny sleeves get slippery. Okay, so it's location, enemy location. I need to kill Belloc for 11. I'm trying to decide if I want to use the Palantir. I do have a way to ready Aragorn, so I'm not really concerned about that. I have a way to get a lot of cards, or a lot of money. So I'm going to be up against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need to make 4. That means I need to quest for 11, which I know I can do. I have all this money. Yeah, what the heck? You know what? I'm going to exhaust Aragorn and the Palantir. Let's let him use it that one time. He's going to say location, so I raise my threat by 2, because one of it's wrong, but there is 2 locations, so I draw 2 cards. All right, Daron's Runes and another Messenger. Okay, I'm going to play Daron's Runes. Draw 2 cards. Treebeard! Well, how cool is it that the Ents arrive here at the end? You know, late as usual. All right, don't be hasty now, Ents. Okay, I have to discard a card at Daron's Rune, so I'll discard this Steward. Okay, I'm going to play the second Isengard Messenger. He costs 2. It's Pippin's resource. I am going to play Defiant Challenge for Doom 2. That's going to give him 1 willpower more and him another willpower. So he's questing for 3, he's questing for 2. Like I said, these guys are pretty good if you're playing lots of Doomed cards. And the character I'm going to ready, of course, is Aragorn. Okay. Looking at my hand, Quick Beam seems like a smart play. So that costs 2 of Saruman's 6. He comes into play with a damage. And I'll play Treebeard, but I doubt he'll see any action. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And that's about it, because I want to keep this Defiant Challenge. Otherwise, I'd play Drinking Song. It lets you reshuffle in your hand and draw 1 more if you control a unique Hobbit character. Okay. Let's quest. I know exactly what I'm going to be questing against. I said I need to quest for 11. These 2 guys are questing for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12. We'll go like that. Okay, so I reveal another city remains. I make the progress I need. Actually, 1 more, so I'm at 13 out of 12. That lets me engage Belloc. This is going to be the Shadow. I'm not traveling. The Shadow is place 1 damage on the active location. So he's attacking for 5. So I know I can defend with Denethor, so might as well. I'll defend with Denethor. Denethor takes 2 damage, and now I get to swing back. And I need to muster up 11 attack. I didn't do the math, because I basically tried to min-max this as much as possible, so we'll just see if it works out. So let's just see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I'm so close. Whatever shall I do? I'm not worried. I have another Defiant Challenge in my hand. So I'm going to raise my threat to 37. And you know what? Treebeard did decide to show up and join the fun. He's going to add his 4 attack, which is enough to knock out Belloc. Pippin grabs that mold. And I think that is a victory. Oh man, that was great. That was really, really great. I really loved it. I just loved being able to get Aragorn in with Helm of Secrecy. Oh, that was so much fun. So much fun. I really think you guys should give this deck a try and just see, you know, can you get your threat up as high as you dare with Saruman playing around with that Palantir, playing around with these doomed effects, and then sneak Aragorn in. Now you might think, you know, this is only a 1 of in your deck, so it's pretty risky, but with the Words of Command, my thought was, by having 3 copies of Word of Command in the deck, where you can grab any card you want, it's actually not that hard to find that card, especially if you have the map as well. I'm sorry, if you have the scroll as well, because if once you play 1 Word of Command, let's say you play it on turn 1, if you find that scroll, you can go back and grab that Word of Command whenever you need it to get the Helm of Secrecy. You just got to make sure you keep 4 resources. So Really fun, you know. Eric, I mean, it has to be a character with threat equal to or less. So, I mean, there's not many characters with 12 threat or more. So, really cool to be able to do this. And I really enjoyed it. So, hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I sure enjoyed making it. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.